Good. You can stop it for a while.
Okay, it's recording.
Hi, Gary. Can you hear us?
Just nod.
Nod.
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
Gary, are you there?
Like he's connecting via audio, so might take another little bit.
Okay, just 30 seconds more, hopefully, guys. Just waiting for Gary, and then we'll have our quorum.
Waiting for the meeting to start. It's gonna be long.
Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Hi, Gary. Thanks for coming. That gives us the quorum we need. So let's get going. It is 7:35. And this is actually a regular meeting. Initially, we thought this would have to be a special meeting, but in fact, it can be a regular meeting. I have heard from Oscar, Chris Sampson, Jane Harold, and Duncan that they're not going to be able to join us because they're all out of town. But as I said, we do have a quorum. First of all, we need to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Anyone, any comments or objections? Okay, carried, minutes approved. And Richard Bramley is just joining us as well, so we have an excellent quorum now.
Things have checked.
Hi, Richard, sorry.
Little car.
You're on tape.
Still forgot.
Neil, any progress on the inventory of commercial space?
Yep. I'll share it with everybody here. I have a good update on that, and I had a call with Libby over at the Hughes Memorial Library last week to just talk about some of the uses of those spaces. So I'll share that with you. I know Oscar and I were trying to find some time and haven't been able to, but we'll try again.
Okay, so that's underway, good. And then Mayor, you were looking into how we could extend the opening hours of the union. Any progress on that?
No progress really on that. I do think there's some, I've been focused on Cornwall days.
I don't quite understand.
I did have one conversation with like a service business owner, and I do think it could be a nice opportunity to, without a lot of effort, maybe again, once a quarter or whatever it may be, to have some kind of, workshop, networking / some useful resource shared, using the union space that way. So I think some people who offer services here feel like, perhaps the EDC could do more to help bring some attention to those service businesses. So I think that could be something that we should think about more as we develop this idea more, but nothing specific to share right now.
All right, well, thank you very much. Gary, I guess we're into a new financial year at this point.
You're mute.
Gary, we can't hear you.
How about now?
That's better, yeah.
Yep.
Bad moment. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well, thank you.
Okay, good. Yes, new fiscal year, 6,500 in the budget. Nothing spent or planned as of the moment.
Okay, that's easy. I'm sure we'll come up with some plans for that. Mayor, do you want to brief us on Cornwall Day, which is coming up in less than 30 days now?
Sure. I do think, Gary, for Cornwall Day, there are things planned that have to be in that budget, right? But we can follow up if there's need for.
Correct.
Okay.
Approved.
Gotcha. Has everyone seen, hopefully, the lawn signs and the flyers?
Yes.
Okay, I could share one on the screen if I needed to. So yeah, I mean, think Gary really helped a lot. Chris Sampson has helped a lot. Neil is our forever amazing social media and website person. So now that we have the schedule, we have, the names of the artists, we know we're centering around, these bigger events. Neil will work his magic, but we do need to continue to get content from both with the larger events and also like businesses that want to offer things, we can help them promote as we get closer to Cornwall Days. But it really, the flyer speaks for itself. It's a great schedule for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's music for anyone and everyone. There's the family theater with Grumbling Griffins on Saturday. There's, of course, the Taste of Cornwall. The Grumbling Griffins is on Sunday, Sunday morning, plus music after Grumbling Griffins, and then music at the market later on Sunday afternoon. It's a really great young band from Yukon that Chris Sampson got. So the variety of music that we're having, I think, is super exciting. And of course, Taste of Cornwall is their own thing, but that's like the premier, activity for Saturday. And they have a great band called Grain Thief. And the thing that we want to promote more, and Neil, I know you're on this, is that the newest kind of idea is this Trinity Retreat Center on Friday night, the movie night. It's going to be Toy Story. And they have this big screen to set up on the lawn. People can bring lawn chairs, picnics. They will be selling like lemonade and popcorn. And I think it should be super fun. And Trinity is so generous to offer that. We have had to order a porta. Gary helped them get a porta potty because we didn't realize they needed a porta potty in order to host this event. So anyway, it's all, the flyer kind of speaks for itself, and now it's just about promoting. It is up on the website. Bianca, I might want to talk to you separately and stop by the Wish House one day, because I tried to post things on CT Visit today, and unfortunately I spent about an hour putting all of these different things from the schedule, and then it like literally disappeared. So I emailed them and sorry.
I had the same thing happening.
Did you? Oh my God.
Reason. So I'll do
exactly...
it again. I can do it tomorrow.
Okay, well, we can coordinate, because I was trying to post everything. So, and I did email them. I said, oh my gosh, I just spent a lot of time trying to upload this onto CT Visit and it disappeared. Hopefully they'll get back to me. Maybe it didn't actually disappear. Maybe it's there somewhere. So that was a little frustrating. I did upload the, I'm just so excited that we're using this great logo that was created last year by Neil's team, and we revised the look and feel of everything, but the logo itself is just a great graphic. So I uploaded the graphic onto the CT Visit as, something that hopefully could be shared by the tourism district as well. So anyway, so more on that. Hopefully we'll get that up there. That's about it. Probably more PR we could do.
Okay, terrific. And obviously all the members of the EDC should try and attend the events to the extent that they can. Thank you, Matt. The next item is the update on the Cornwall Bridge project. Duncan asked me just to go through the key points in his notes from that meeting. We had I think it was the third meeting, am I right? Third or fourth meeting on July the 9th. And I'd say, there actually does seem to be quite a bit of progress. One of the things that came out of it was that the group felt we should take the next few steps ourselves, including a development of some plans of the area around the triangle and showing existing conditions. So, with the help of Chimney Rock, we're hoping we might be able to produce that as a start. The second thing was that Gordon shared what he knew about cell and Wi-Fi connectivity down there. And his basic conclusion was there seems to be a lot of confusion and uncertainty about what each of Optimum and Frontier are up to. He recommended that the group speak to Casey Cook and hopefully get him to the next meeting. The next steps that came out were, first of all, Ronnie Lizana keep after the Department of Transportation and report on his progress. Gordon will propose a meeting for our group with the engineers now working for the town on trips and steep grants. Duncan's going to connect with Casey on the connectivity as discussed. One suggestion that came up was that the EDC might assist in providing some funding to the Cornwall Bridge Placemaking Group, which I think makes sense. We haven't been asked how much yet, but I think contributing to what should be a vast improvement in traffic and the scenery around the triangle is right inside our bailiwick. So let's stay tuned for that. And then Catherine and Inez will advise on how we pursue the sustainable grants. So I think, that's a lot of steps, but the key thing is you've got about 10 very actively involved people who are all pursuing this and trying to build on the work that's been done, some time ago without much success. But the pending repaving of Route 7 by the state may be quite helpful in all this. Does anyone have any questions on that? Okay. The next thing is, Mayor, you may have seen Mayor sent out an email to this effect, but Ron Goldstein, the manager down at National Iron Bank, is sponsoring a scavenger hunt and has asked the EDC for our help in approaching some of the vendors in Cornwall to help provide prizes for that. So to the extent we're talking to people, or any of the people haven't been approached, it would be good if we could help, Ron, on what is obviously a very good thing to do. With that, Rocco, do you want to talk about what the selectmen are up to?
Sure, yeah, I got a few updates. So last time Gordon was here, he provided an update on the septic, some of the town center improvement projects, that we've been working on, which we continue to progress with. There's been some recent movements actually with municipal solid waste, which has kind of been a vexing issue that's been affecting a lot of the local towns around here. And so the COG is really working with the COG, and they've really taken front and center with this to try to come up with a more regional solution for that. And all has to do with the fact that the state refuse hauling contracts expire in 2027. So a lot of towns like us are trying to find what's next. One thing we've been looking at is, and the COG has been looking at, is creating a regional waste authority and purchasing the Torrington transfer station and using that, and then also using a company called HRRA. I think it's pronounced Hira. I'm not quite sure though, but they actually already service Kent today. And so, and they're able to kind of allow us to continue with normal operations without much additional cost. And they've also worked with Kent on a successful pilot program for composting and food scrap waste too, which could kind of check another box for us. So we're going to continue to investigate that as a potential viable solution for, again, a vexing issue that's facing a lot of towns in the area. The Pink House restaurant, as many of you know, the new Pink House restaurant is opened. I talked with Marina, one of the sole proprietors, today, and I worked to get her business profile up in the business directory and offered up any resources or support, if she needs. I told her we've got some experienced marketing people and business owners in the mix for EDC, so to reach out if she needs any support or assistance, which was good. I also met Liz, who runs Ivy's Collective, which is the antique portion, of the Blue Gate complex. And it sounds like she's renting the space of the old Three Guys location with her business partner. It sounds like they've got kind of a bustling antiques business and lots of stuff that they can now showcase. So they're excited to get that rolling. And I'll work to get them added in the mix as well on the directory. I'm just not quite sure if they're open yet, and I can't. Are they? Yep, they're now open. Okay, cool.
in the new premises.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're going to be operating both,
Yeah.
the bakery.
Yeah.
Wow, good for them.
Yeah,
Furniture.
plenty of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good development, and I'll give them some space to expand. We're looking at doing some work on the roof of the town hall and some gutters, which I don't think we've put on a new roof since, I think, right after the tornado. So it's been, I think, over 35 years. So we've gotten our money's worth there, but it's time to start looking at some improvements for the town hall. As you guys heard too, we're also working on hopefully securing a STEEP grant. We've already got our TRIPS grant, which is the infrastructure, and the STEEP grant is for more of like formal businesses, facades, some site work and things like that. So we talked about that at the last meeting. We're definitely pursue that as part of our overarching program, to do some revitalization of our town centers, businesses, stuff like that. What else? Town website. We had a large spike in traffic last week, especially. We had over 1,500 views to the annual rummage sale event page, which is a big one and draws people, from all over. And then we also we had a good social post commemorating the 35th anniversary of the tornado as well on social. That did really well. Lots of comments and people kind of remembering where they were. One other interesting thing you guys might to make you guys aware of is on the town website, we've got Google Analytics, so it allows us to get all kinds of different analytics. What we found is and this is pretty typical, often if we look at the demographics, like where people are that are coming to the website, we had about 1,800 people from Connecticut, about 1,400 people from New York, and about 500 people from Massachusetts. So just to give you an idea, those have always been the three most popular states that come to the website, and kind of the big three. So just a little thought there, and I think that's about it.
That's a lot.
One question I had in
Thank
regard
you.
to septic, any update on porta potties for the vent there?
Oh, yes, I think I brought that up at a selectmen's meeting, I think last month. And it's my understanding that it was originally through a grant or something through the HVA.
Mhm.
And so I think the next step, have we contacted them to kind of see what the deal is with that? Or I think that might be the next step, would be to contact them.
Can that be done? Because
Sure.
it really, it's a crucial situation, especially for a restaurant that is sitting right there too, because they'll have people just wandering in, looking for the restroom. I have people just straightly charging into my bathroom, though there's a sign on it, private room. It's an issue, especially at this time where you have a lot of visitors, and it creates friction. Public restrooms are really needed.
Yeah. I think it was funded through a grant previous, so I'm not sure if that grant is up for renewal or how that can work. I mean, we can definitely look at that on the selectmen side in terms of things like that. We don't have a budget for it, but that's not necessarily a big issue either, because we do have contingencies and other funds we can use. So I will continue to investigate that.
Perhaps, I have no idea how much that costs. I know, Gary, it seems very reasonable just for like a weekend. That's totally different thing, but perhaps the EDC could look into the ongoing cost for that, and we can see what our budget might cover. So.
Are you talking about a permanent, the town purchasing a porta potty?
I think it used to be, it was down by the river, right, where you can park by the boat launch. And I guess, I don't know if permanent is the right word, but on long term, I guess. Yeah.
If we did 6 months, would that do it? Since we.
I mean, maybe we should survey some other business owners. I wonder what, obviously the bike shop guy, his customers, I'm sure his customers can use the port. I'm just saying that maybe as an EDC, it is an issue. It comes up a lot. Maybe we can actually see what solution it might be in a long-term, short-term.
Do we know the cost of the monthly lease of the porta potties?
I don't know. We have to look. I know the town has a contract for Footfield for a couple, so there might be able
Yeah.
to look at that, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. I know to run one for a few days usually about 500, but I'm sure if you're renting it for a longer period of time, it's probably a lot more affordable.
Yeah.
500 for 50 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picking it up and taking it back, I guess. That's it.
I'm sorry, Richard, what number did you say?
500 for a few days.
That's at the top end. The standard rates run from $2 to $350. There's a new vendor in South Massachusetts who's doing the Friday night event for us, and it's $200. And the standard protocol is drop off on a Wednesday or Thursday, pick up on a Monday or Tuesday. But if it was to be made for a longer term period, then that also gets into who's going to manage the waste.
Right.
I think that's what you pay the company for. So
Exactly.
I'm just saying we need an estimate. I don't have that right now, but perhaps,
Probably only a 6-month type of.
yeah.
It's not something that we
make any reason you want.
right.
You want it for 3 days, you want it for 3 weeks, you want it for 3 months.
Right.
No, we
That's what they do.
So one that I had organized was the one right behind in Ingersoll's Shaker Furniture showroom, and they retained that once these other 2 porta potties came and were installed at the bend, because there's no restroom at the
And
showroom.
Good.
So
George was just reminding me in Millerton, there are 2 right on the rail trail, right
Yeah.
near the school,
Yeah.
and they're quite nice,
yeah.
more in the permanent-ish thing, they're long-term, but they're pretty well done.
Well, it sounds like we should get an estimate. Who's going to be in the best position to do that?
Yeah. Well, I can see what the town, I can.
Should we see if we can leverage off the
Yes.
town contract? That would be great.
I do know that in Cornwall Bridge, both the market and me and I provide the public restrooms. That's who provides the public restrooms in Cornwall Bridge.
It's pretty.
And you feel like there's a need for more there, or?
I'm not saying there's a need for more, I'm saying we the businesses in town provide it.
Yeah.
It's part of what you're doing.
Didn't the market have some porta potties outside for a long time? Or was that part of the construction?
No, that would have been part of the construction. There are 2 bathrooms, they're full service bathrooms with diaper changing platforms and
I think you're required to put that in as a food establishment.
Okay, so who can get in touch perhaps with the 2 in Millerton?
Just to add a little detail, I know West Cornwall obviously has its own huge complication as well as a huge long-term project. But I've also talked to Libby about this, Libby Mitchell at the Union, because she has 2 nice bathrooms, but she will literally get in trouble if the organization will, the organization is not able. So I don't know how you work it out, Richard, at your shop, but whatever regulations there are to be able to offer those facilities to the public, she cannot do that. Even though they're lovely bathrooms. So anyway,
Why can't they offer it to the public?
I don't want to speak for Libby, but I have talked to her about this. And again, we could talk, obviously, Bianca is there with the Wish House. We could talk to in Ingersoll, we could talk to the bike shop. We could get a little bit more of everyone's input on it, but whatever regulations is required to make something a public restroom. I am no expert here, something about the wastewater facility. She is not able to offer, like she would if she could, I think. Like she is not able to offer that as a public restroom. It's just a facility for people using the Union.
guess it's the relationship to the septic
Mhm.
As you have a 2-bathroom, 3-bathroom, 8-bedroom house, you have different size septics that allow you to have that. I don't know if that's commercial at that point in time, and it has the relationship to the septic. But yeah, I just made that up, quite frankly, but
Well, looks like we've got our own little municipal waste project here in Cornwall to tackle.
You're correct in your thinking, right? There's only so much usage that each building is allowed. And so when you look at the local and the union, they're limited in how they could use that building based on their septic.
but if it's a commercial establishment, I'm not sure it's quite the same.
That is the same. I mean, Libby and I have spoken at nauseum on this one, right? They're limited in how they could use the building based on their septic. So I mean, maybe that she can't. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but certainly if they're coming in from the public to use it, it limits the way that that building can use it for their own businesses. That's for sure.
Okay. Well, we still need to, if everyone agrees, I think we still need to get some quotes. I didn't see anyone volunteering for this. So I will try and find out who these people are and give them a call. And that concludes the agenda. Do we have any comments from anyone else? Any EDC members? Want to bring up anything else?
One thing that I've been trying to pull together is some content from Google about how to help small businesses rank on Google, be found in search, and just overall raise their online profile. We do this at a city level in Philadelphia. I just don't know if the learnings for the city, equate to a smaller town like ours. So I'm just trying to learn if it's the same or if the specs are different. But I think it would be helpful for us as the EDC. It might be merit this next quarterly or annual meeting to sort of share the best practices. Like an example, in a city like Philadelphia, every business should have a minimum of 44 photographs on their Google profile for Google to crawl and find it. So what we do is we meet with small businesses just to help them with best practices. So, I mean, that's one great example of I called them and I'm like, is that true for a town of 1,500 people with limited business? Do they also need 44 images? But I'm trying to get that information so that we can review it and see how we can help the local businesses with Google profile.
Thank you. That sounds useful.
Yeah, that sounds super useful, Neil. I do quite a bit of marketing for small, town businesses and stuff like that. And one of the most important things is to have a Google My Business profile, which is going to really
That's right.
help you in local search. It's going to get you found on the map. But then there's things you do on your site in terms of SEO, targeting, your business name, what you offer, but then targeting the right geographical places too, like the town, things like that. So I think that's a good idea because it is probably a point that a lot of local businesses could improve on, kind of their digital presence, some of their marketing efforts when it comes to SEO, and other kind of key things like that.
Yep.
Yeah, Neil and Rocco, I totally agree. That's back to just this idea that is still very general about using the union for networking and for bringing people together in the community more, and especially business community. That's a perfect example, I think, of some kind of I always say lunch and learn because that's what companies always use when but it wouldn't be lunch, but anyway, some kind of workshop. That's a really good example. Like small businesses learn to optimize your Google listing, and here's some best practices. I think that would be really well received, something like that.
Great. Well, that's great. Thank you, Neil. Anything anything that any member of the public on the call would like to raise? In that case, it's 8:05. May I have a motion to adjourn? All in favor? Aye. And we're now adjourned. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night, everyone.
Bye.
30 minutes since.
You know, something that's, an Instagram.